Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA, a weekly recap of your Eagles and news around the NFL. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's. Tonight's show is brought to you by Rob's Automotive and Collision, BCWSA, Chickies and Pete's, Allstate Fairless Hills Tom LaCroix, and Penworth Financial Services, Penn Community Bank, Capital Grill, Ventresca's LTD, Independence Blue Cross, and SEPTA. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
Thank you very much. Great to be with you. We are at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill, and Dave, it is nice to follow a victory, the kind of victory that the Eagles had Sunday when they mauled the Giants.
Merrill, it was one of those games that, we have seen so many times in the past, not in the recent past, a slow start, but then the Eagles finding their footing, turning it on, the defense leading the way, waiting for the offense to catch up, and then when the offense did catch up, big play after big play in the run game, in the pass game, 28-3 complete victory over the New York Giants. And what I love in these instances is going down to the field for the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, and it was completely Eagles green throughout MetLife Stadium, chanting EAGLES Eagles. Great feeling against a division rival.
It's always good to do a game up there and watch them head for the exits.
I love it, yeah.
That's a great thing.
And it doesn't happen that often. A beautiful day at MetLife Stadium.
Perfect day.
And B,
a perfect win.
A perfect win.
We are very, very lucky tonight. We have a great guest with us. Now we're only 6 games into the season, but if there were to be an Eagles defensive MVP, it would be tonight's guest. He has had an outstanding season. How about a nice welcome for Zach Baun?
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
You really have had a great season.
That was a great intro.
Well, Merrill's the best. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, so he's the best.
Well, I meant it from my heart. I mean,
yes.
You came here, and there were people with more recognizable names coming here as free agents in the offseason, but you came in, and you weren't given any job. You weren't number one on the depth chart. All you did was play great day after day after day. And I'll tell you, Vic Fangio will tell you that you earned this job. You worked your way to this job.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the whole trajectory of my football career. I went into Wisconsin I was a quarterback in high school, went into Wisconsin. They wanted me to play linebacker. I sat for a few years, learned everything, adjusted. I'm not going to say it was easy for me, but there were some ups and downs. And then when I got to NFL, I moved off the ball. And, again, an adjustment period, and I feel like I'm just starting to hit my stride and get comfortable here.
As a high school quarterback, you weren't ordinary. You threw for over 4,000 yards and ran for over 3,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean, I threw because I had to. If it was up to me, I was running the ball every play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why were you recruited at all as a quarterback?
I didn't have many offers. It was between South Dakota State and then a gray shirt to Wisconsin, actually. And then when Paul Chris came in, he upgraded it to a full-ride scholarship. But
why?
Both it was linebacker.
Were you from a really small school area?
It was a small school. My high school had 550 kids in it total.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And was it a dream then, Zach? I mean, Wisconsin kid going to Madison. I mean, was that your team since the time you were born?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only D1 school in the state. So, that was my dream school for sure, and I'm lucky I got to play there.
That's amazing. There wasn't T.J. Edwards was a guy who came out of Wisconsin, and T.J. wasn't even drafted. He signed with the Eagles as an undrafted free agent.
Oh, yeah, he's one of my close friends. I see him every offseason.
Oh, he's a great guy.
We train together, and we keep in touch during the season. Great guy.
What was the biggest transition, Zach? Small school, high school to college football, or college football to the New Orleans Saints?
I would say probably high school to college level. Just making that transition from offensive side of the ball to the defensive side. The keys change. You're hitting people instead of getting hit. A lot of differences there. So that was the biggest difference.
How about making your way to Wisconsin and making your way up the ladder? Because, as you said, you hardly played for your first couple of years, and here you end up as a third-round NFL draft
And
pick.
an All-American.
And an All-American.
Yeah.
In 2022, you were an All-American.
Yeah, that's just credit to the guys I had ahead of me: T.J. Watt, Andrew Van Ginkel, T.J. Edwards. The list goes on. A lot of good linebackers in that era, and a lot of unselfish guys that were willing to teach and willing to develop. That's when there was no transfer portal, there was no NIL money. It was about development. Everyone nearly redshirted and teaching guys along the way.
T.J. Watt, you played with T.J. Watt. What was he like?
Great guy. Another guy I trained with in the off season.
Still.
A great guy, a hard worker, and again, willing to show you what he knows.
It's interesting because all of those guys, Van Ginkel, everyone, there's a similarity. Very talented, of course, but in the context of the NFL, more known for really hard work. And I wonder, where is that something that you've always been taught, Zach, that no matter how tall you are, no matter how great an athlete you are, you're not going to go anywhere without really, really working hard?
Yeah, I mean that's the Wisconsin way.
Yeah.
It's all about hard work, and you could be a great athlete, but athleticism only takes you so far, especially when you get to college and the NFL. Then you really have to drive and work to achieve the highest.
So you finished last year with the Saints. What was it that drew you to the Eagles as a free agent?
I wanted to go somewhere where the scheme fit my play style and a team that wanted me, and they were on me right away. Howie and Vic had instant communication with my agents, and they wanted me, so I wanted them.
And the story is that Vic and the Eagles saw you late in the season, and I think it's really a tribute to marrying the scouting side with what the coaches are looking for. They saw you last year in New Orleans late in the season get some opportunities to make some plays on the ball. Is that right?
Yeah,
yeah. And so are you aware of what they liked about you and what the instances were in New Orleans that attracted you to them?
Yeah, I think it was kind of the hybrid style. I was a predominantly pass rusher in college, and then when I got to the NFL, I learned a lot of off-ball. So the fact that I could do both things, I think, really drew me to Vic's scheme, and Andrew Van Ginkel did a lot of the same things with him in Miami. So just having that ability to do both and do a lot of different things, which I'm doing now.
Didn't you have 1 year at Wisconsin where you had something like 12 and a half sacks?
Yeah, I did.
Was that 2022?
That was 2019, my senior season. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. So as we've watched this Vic Fangio defense evolve, we have seen him dial up blitzes. 2 weeks ago against Cleveland, it was Cooper DeJean coming off the edge. This past week against the Giants, it was Nakobe Dean coming up the middle. I would imagine then there's a package for Zach Baun in there somewhere. Have you done a lot of blitzing so far?
I've done quite a bit of blitz.
Okay.
It's a tag by committee. Like everyone's getting in on it.
Okay.
It's Nolan Smith. It's
Yep.
Josh Sweat, Nakobe Dean, Coop had a few. Like, we're doing this as a unit, and that's what I love about this team and the scheme. It's not all about individual guys. It's about us working together to make plays.
I think you drew a flag this week for roughing the passer.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a clean shot. I don't think you did anything vicious. You didn't hit him in the head. I thought you just showed great speed and anticipation.
Yeah, last week against the Browns, I think it was. I got excited, and I think I took one too many steps and hit him.
It's tough.
We're seeing an Eagles team, Zach. I mean, you've gotten a taste of the culture of Philadelphia. You know, a great win in Brazil, a really tough loss against Atlanta, a big win in New Orleans, really tough loss in Tampa, up and down 4 weeks. What did you learn about the Philadelphia Eagles fan culture, sports culture, Eagles culture in those 4 games?
I learned a lot, but the most important thing is that they love this team.
Right?
They love this team. They just want to see us do well and see us win and perform like they know we can.
Yeah, and during that time, Merrill, so one of the things about this past week, which was so interesting and at the end of the day riveting, the return of Saquon Barkley to MetLife Stadium and the Giants. And that was the second huge homecoming the Eagles experienced this year, because earlier the team rallied around Zach Baun going back to New Orleans, and a huge defensive effort in the win over the Saints.
Did you feel anything different going back to New Orleans?
I did, and I actually watched last week Sean Payton go back to New Orleans, and something he said over and over was like, it's only special if you win. So I like me going into the game, all I wanted to do was win. Like, me doing well personally was put to the side. I just wanted to win. I wanted to beat my former team. And that's exactly what I told Saquon going into this last week.
And that's what he said.
Yeah.
He said, I don't care if I gain 10 yards. It's all about winning.
Yep.
Is it hard to block it out? Do you learn something about yourself? Really kind of honing in on the game and not showing the Saints that, hey, you guys made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, for me personally, it's all about proving it to myself. Before anyone else, I want to prove it to myself that I belong here, and this is what I'm meant to do. And I told Saquon before this last game, if the boo birds come out, it's because you're worthy of them. They respect you enough to boo you. You're important enough.
Well, they didn't just boo him; they burned his jersey. Nobody.
That
burned
was a little too much.
Nobody burned your jersey in New Orleans, did they?
No.
Hey, we don't know that. There's really not a tailgate scene there. There could have been a Zach Baun underground burning jersey. What was the fan base in New Orleans? They've gone through so many things. The people who live in New Orleans, very difficult times, throughout the years with all the natural disasters. What kind of football scene was it down there?
Yeah, a similar culture. They love the team. They obviously been through a lot, and again, just another team that wants to see their team do well.
Yeah.
Did you get to know Drew Brees when you were riding?
I played with Drew for 1 year.
For 1 year.
For 1 year, and to watch that guy work was incredible.
What's he like?
He's intense. He's intense. He's always in work mode, and we had conversations because he went to Purdue, but went back and forth about Purdue, Wisconsin games. But that dude works. You know
what this week is, of course. It's Wisconsin against the adopted school, whether they went there or not, of most people here, Penn State. Wisconsin, Penn State. That's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, you guys know who I got.
Is Wisconsin good this year? Are they good?
We're solid. We're solid.
You're 5-2.
Yeah, we're solid.
And what's Penn State? Penn State's third in the country now?
Penn State's ranked number 3 in the country.
Yep.
They haven't lost a game. They're 5-0. And this is a big game for them.
Absolutely.
My nephew goes to Wisconsin. You met my sister. She's her grandson. But he just loves Wisconsin football, and they're very geared up for this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful school, beautiful place to live, and then the football culture is amazing as well.
And the other thing that I think Wisconsin has in its favor is the fact that the next week Penn State has Ohio State, and there's a chance that maybe they look ahead, not overlook Wisconsin, but maybe they're thinking too much Ohio State, and all they have to do is slip up a little bit, and Wisconsin will nail them. I mean, they barely got through Southern Cal.
Yeah, don't overlook Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Never.
But I hope Penn State does.
Now Wisconsin football and playing in that conference, Zach, a big aid to you, do you think, to get yourself prepared for the tempo, the intensity, and the quality of football for the NFL?
Yeah, the Big Ten uses a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of 21 personnel, similar to the pro style. So I think that really, really, really helped me kind of make that transition into the NFL.
Wisconsin has such a rich football heritage. I mean, going there, there are names that I know you had to familiarize yourself because they were Hall of Famers, they were legends. One was a running back who was known as the Horse, Alan the Horse Amici.
Yeah. He was all on the walls in the tunnel, in the locker room. Ron Dane, Jonathan Taylor, Melvin Gordon, James White, Monte Ball.
I'll give you another one, Dave. Do you know a wide receiver? Now we're going back in history now, even before me, but I am kind of a historian. They didn't call them wide receivers; they were ends, and they had an end by the name of Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch.
Crazy Legs, yeah.
Los Angeles Rams, right?
They never gave you a nickname like Crazy Legs Baun or anything like that.
No.
It's funny.
I wish.
It's funny, Zach, that you are not really the prototypical inside linebacker. In fact, did you ever play inside linebacker before you came here?
I played it with the Saints a little bit. Yeah,
a little bit.
Yep.
But in college, you were pretty much an edge rusher.
I was an edge rusher. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you explain to me this, and I marvel at you guys when you do blitz, timing it up, so important. What goes into hitting the blitz at the right time? Are you predicting the cadence? Have you studied the cadence? Like, what keys do you use to make sure that you are hitting it at the exact right time? Because if you don't, you're not getting home. Yeah,
I think a lot of fans and a lot of just viewers don't know how much work and study we put into this. Everything from the plays to their alignments, where they're shifting, where they're motioning, and then even down to, like, that was a home game against the Browns when I blitzed, and the guard taps the center to let him know that the quarterback is ready, the silent count, and only through study can you know when they're about to do that. So you just time it up with that, and you can hit it right off.
What is a typical day like in the life of Zach Baun on a football day?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of study. It's a lot of independent work, and just going to work and working, putting my head down and just grinding it out.
What time do you actually arrive at the NovaCare facility?
I'm there around 7:30 every morning, yeah.
Are you really?
Yep.
And how much then is meetings and study?
We practice for about an hour and a half a day, and the rest is just meetings and study.
Is there a walkthrough? And there's a walkthrough also,
And
right?
there's a walkthrough,
Yeah.
yep.
And you, for people always, they don't have any lifting weights. It's all maintenance during the season and then gain in the off season kind of stuff? Do you lift a lot during the season?
We lift quite a bit. We lift 2 days a week. But it's important not to see it as maintenance. Like, you have to stay strong, keep
Gotcha.
strong, because then when you get to the playoffs and to the end of it, you want to keep your ability to be strong. You can't just lift heavy in the off season and not during the season.
And then how do you recover? What are some of the things that you use for recovery?
Yeah, they have massages. They have treatment, a whole bunch of different treatment things you can go in and do. You could go in a hot tub, cold tub, sauna, steam room, everything.
Great. And how's your body feeling these days? On a Tuesday,
Wonderful.
On a Tuesday after a Sunday game, you feel good?
And you
I feel
good.
wonderful.
Oh, that's
I feel
awesome.
wonderful.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. All right, you're listening to the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA right here on 1490 WBCB. And we will be back with Zach Baun right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Make a selection from our seasonal food menu, then unwind with one of our sensational cocktails. The South Philly Sizzle, made with Bird Gang Habanero Tequila. Stateside Pumpkin Pie featuring stateside vodka, rum chata, and pumpkin puree. Delicious fiery sangria, tasty spiced apple punch, or the Campfire Mule. At participating locations for a limited time, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
When an Eagles player gets hurt, the team takes care of him. When you get hurt, the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will take care of you. They understand that a severe accident can be a life-altering event. You need a reliable teammate to fight for you. The attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will get you great results. And if there's no recovery, there's no fee. Contact them today at 215-750-0110 for a free consultation. 215-750-0110 for a reliable ally that's on your side. Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO today. Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
All right, you are listening to the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM and seen live at WBCBsports.com. Our guest tonight is Zach Baun, Eagles linebacker par excellence in the midst of an outstanding season. Zach, did you come from an athletic family?
I did not. No one in my family plays sports besides me.
Is that right?
Yep.
Now, how old were you when you started playing any kind of game?
Oh, I was probably like 5 or 6.
5 or
6, yep.
And were you standing out were you the best 5-year-old in your baseball team, or did you play little soccer?
I'm too humble to admit that.
But you must have been the fastest, even early.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay. All right. Well, did you play soccer?
I played soccer. That was my first sport. Yep.
Was it really?
Yep.
Oh, God. Did you stay with that for a while?
Yeah, I stayed with soccer until like middle school, actually, 6th or 7th grade.
It's the humility, Merrill, that is what is so striking about Zach Baun. Early in the season, where were we, Merrill? We were at maybe at Parks Casino, maybe after the Saints game. And Merrill asked me, so impressed, maybe it was after the Atlanta game, do you think Zach Baun can be a Pro Bowl player? That's how you jumped off the page. How do you think you're playing? And I know you're going to be extremely humble. How do you think you're playing, and why do you think this role is so good for you?
I think I'm playing pretty decent. Obviously, my football mind always critiques myself, and I'm constantly trying to get better. If I miss tackles or I don't have the right run fit or I'm off on a coverage, overall I'd give myself probably a B.
Okay.
I think
my standards?
Well, by your standards, okay, but I think everyone else would give you a little bit more than a B right now because you're really, every place you look, there's number 53. I mean, you are moving really well.
Yeah, I pride myself on my hustle and my ability to get to the ball. I think just being around the ball, good things happen. You know, you never know when a ball pops loose and you get a fumble recovery or a forced fumble. Just being around the ball, I try to keep an emphasis on that.
Okay, which brings us to another point. The Eagles are still -6 in turnover differential. That means they have given the ball up 6 more times than they've taken it away. Now, the Eagles have not turned over the ball in the last 2 weeks. Jalen Hurts, no fumbles, no interceptions, but you're still -6. What is it going to take for the defense to create some turnovers?
Yeah, that's definitely been a point of emphasis in the past 2 weeks, especially constantly working at it. To get a forced fumble or an interception, obviously you have to be in the right place at the right time, but you have to have the ball on your mind. If I'm going up to a tackle, you have to think about punching at the ball. And I think once we get one, we'll get the ball rolling, and they come in bunches for sure.
Yeah, they do. You know, when you go into the auditorium and you look at the podium and then you look straight up, there is a great big poster or painting or visual of what you have to do. You know, go after the ball, be violent, all of those things up there.
Yeah,
Can you name them?
Not all of them. The top-down punch-out, the peanut punch.
What's a peanut punch?
Punch top of the ball?
Peanut Tillman from the Bears.
Okay.
He was notorious for punching at the ball. I don't know how many forced fumbles he had, but Coach Nick showed a clip, and he was just punching them all out.
I think that they come in bunches. I think sacks come in bunches. It seems like the Eagles now here with 13 sacks in the last 2 weeks now rank tied for 8th in the league in quarterback sacks. You can see that everybody's got a taste for it. Do you feel that, Zach, that everyone is now hungry for more big plays, explosive plays from the defense, that it becomes contagious?
Yeah, I mean, just seeing nothing like seeing Nolan Smith get a sack and how excited he is. It just makes you want to get a sack too, and we're all happy for each other. Like, we're not dang, that should have been me, or dang, I didn't have a sack last game, but all these guys had sack. No, we don't care about that. We want to see this defense do well, and we want to see this team win.
That's one of the things that strikes me also with this team, and really through the history of the Eagles. I've been there for 28 years. Merrill's been there a couple of years longer.
103.
Yeah, that there's a culture with this football team where the young guys come in, and they're there to, in theory, take the job of your veterans. And the veterans are so helpful with these young players. It's a pay-it-forward kind of thing. When you came into the league, Zach, who was the kind of the guiding lights for you, and do you now take it upon yourself to really help some of these younger guys?
Yeah, 2 guys. I had DeMario Davis in my room.
Great player.
A great player, a great vet, a great person, willing to teach me everything he knows. And then 2 lockers down, I actually had Malcolm Jenkins, and we talked a lot, and I picked his brain, and just seeing how he operates. And, Malk, what kept you in this league so long? Like, what are you doing for your rehab? What are you doing for this, that? And they're just so willing to help you. And mentorship has been big in my career, even since college, TJ Edwards especially. Just bringing guys with you, and you're not in this league forever, and you want to see this league go on, and you want to see the guys that you played with do well. So,
what are the keys to longevity? What did you learn from Malcolm? What do you learn every day watching Brandon Graham, 15 years in the league? It's one thing to make the league. We talk about that all the time with players, but it's another thing entirely to stay in the league as long as you can. And ultimately, that is the goal, to stay in the league, stay employed for as long as you can.
Yeah, I think it comes down to 2 things. You got to work hard. Like, you can't stop learning, and you can't just settle for being good. You have to be great. And then you got to take care of your body. And I'll add a third one in, and it's just be a good person, because everyone wants a good teammate, and everyone wants someone to be around, you know?
That's great. You know, it's interesting to hear you talk about Nolan Smith, because Nolan Smith was drafted in the first round. The first pick that year, of course, was Jalen Carter, but Nolan Smith was picked in that same first round, at the end of that first round. And for a while, we didn't hear much about Nolan Smith. And I don't want to use the word bust, but people were wondering when he's going to really contribute, when he's going to come on. And to his credit, Vic Fangio said every week, he said, this guy is getting better and better. He's a good football player. I have faith in Nolan Smith. And now we're starting to watch the fruition of all of his work and all of Vic Fangio's patience.
Yeah, a guy that I watched right when he got into the league, kind of undersized for an edge.
Yeah.
But, man, his tenacity, his effort, his violence, it's unreal, unlike anything I've seen. I actually sit right next to him in our defensive meeting, and he's always asking questions, asking what I'm doing, asking what he's doing, talking to his coach. And, this is not stuff you see out of a second-year guy. Like, he's constantly asking questions, trying to get better.
You know, you used the word violence, and there's a great deal of violence in the National Football League. And the interesting thing is, here you are off the field, a very mild-mannered guy with a little baby and a wife and a happy family, and you seem like the least violent guy in the world. And a number of years ago, there was another Eagle who was probably as violent as any player I've ever seen on the field. And off the field, he would have your kind of demeanor, and his name was Brian Dawkins.
Ah, okay. That's a great comparison. That's a great comparison.
But there were 2 Dawks. There was on the field, he turned into Wolverine Man. And off the field, Dave, there was nobody.
Deeply religious, very family-oriented, very kind man. And he called himself Idiot Man. He would be introduced to the crowd, and he would come through the tunnel crawling, snarling, snot coming out of his mouth. What flips the switch for you?
I think now what flips the switch for me is, obviously everyone goes to work, and then it's what are you doing when you get home? Me, I get home and I'm instantly greeted by my 6-month-old baby, and everything I do at work doesn't shut off, but I definitely distance myself from it for a little bit. You got to have both. You got to have a balance there.
Do you think you have to be a little bit, and I use this word in a good way, crazy to play football?
Absolutely. No regular person wants to just run out there and full speed run at each other, you know?
You talked earlier about going from the hittee, the quarterback, to the hitter, the linebacker. What was that transition like? Have you always been a really physical person?
Yeah. I mean, when I played quarterback, I was definitely trying to truck people and trying to make my presence known, and I feel like I'm trying to do that now on the defensive side.
And for you, is there a thrill in just demolishing somebody?
Yeah, because when you when you hit someone, if it's a good, clean hit, you don't really feel it, but you know they do.
That is for sure.
What is your game day routine like? What do you try to accomplish during the warm-ups?
I just try to keep myself cool and calm. Like, I don't want to hype myself up too much. I don't want to drink too much caffeine and get all jittery. I try to listen to slower music, cool, calm. I know other guys do different things, but that's
what do you eat on the morning of a 1 o'clock game?
Just a regular breakfast, like maybe an egg scramble with mushrooms and sausage. I don't know. Regular breakfast. I keep it light.
So do you pregame routine music? If so, what kind of music? How do you get into that zone?
I can't tell you all the secrets,
but superstitious. There is a superstition.
No, I actually am very opposed to superstition.
Are you really?
Yes.
And that is the superstition.
I don't think you should be dependable on doing this.
That's great.
I think routine is good, but superstition is not.
Okay.
See, I have a superstition.
What is that?
I have a superstition in that when I do a game, and actually every day, when I get set to leave the house, I have to have 2 pennies in my pocket. Two pennies. That is my superstition.
Okay.
I know there's one more in here. Here. 2 pennies.
Wow, I did not know this.
That is my only superstition.
And what happens if you don't bring the pennies?
I don't want to. You know what? We were in London. The Eagles were playing a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars in London about 4 years ago, and I came down to the lobby all set to go, and I didn't have any pennies. And I met somebody in the lobby who I knew, and she went around. She was the wife of a sponsor, Joe Medichek from PNC Bank, and she went around to everybody in the lobby saying, "Excuse me, do you have 2 pennies?" Until she found 2 pennies, and then I could go on with my day.
Okay. But you've never announced a game.
I've never announced a game without my 2 pennies.
Well, Merrill, what about the story of you the night before taking a bath, smoking a cigar? Is that
No.
Champagne?
No champagne, no cigars. But I want to tell you this. Years ago, I was a tennis player, and I did the Philadelphia Freedoms. And one of the people I knew very, very well was the coach of the player, the star of our team, who probably the most important woman in the history of sports. Are you familiar with the name Billie Jean King? She was all-time great. Won Wimbledon the most amount of times, won every tournament. And she used to tell me about something called psycho-cybernetics. Psycho-cybernetics is the art of envisioning things and watching yourself succeeding, sitting back in a quiet room and envisioning yourself making visualization.
Yes.
And the whole theory is that what you imagine and what you actually achieve doesn't matter because our minds are computers. So you put in a very positive frame of reference.
Okay.
So what I used to do is take a bath the morning of a game, and I would envision that I was at the stadium and recognize all of the numbers. I mean, number 1, Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Number 30, Chase Brown. See, I'm getting ready already for Cincinnati. So I'm envisioning all those numbers because when I come to do a game, there's a spotter, and he's pointing to all the boards and all of the things happening away from the play. So we have about 30 signals, hand signals
Holy
between
smokes.
us. He'll tell me that, and then he'll point to 53 to tell me that Zach Baun rushed the passer. So-and-so deflected the ball. Wow. So-and-so recovered the fumble. So-and-so strung out the play. So-and-so was – so we have 30 signals. All this goes on while I'm on the air. So I try to make myself as comfortable and ready to go as possible. That's
Merrill,
what I do.
what's this hand signal?
Take a break. And we will do right there. We will take a break and be back after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. We're teaming up with Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown for a new wing flavor this football season. A.J. Brown's Sweet Heat Wings. We combine the sweet and spicy flavors A.J. loves, plus a portion of the proceeds benefit the A.J. Brown Foundation, and it's focused on empowering underprivileged youth. At participating locations for a limited time, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO today. Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are with Zach Baun, and you are listening to the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM and seen live at WBCBsports.com. Dave, you have a segment here.
I sure do, Merrill, and I've ruined it every time, but I'm going to get it here.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to show how much I've improved.
Okay, that name is Mandio.
Oh, Merrill, I knew that. It's time now for this week's injury review, brought to you by the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio.
You got it.
Contact them today for a free consultation at 215-806-3689. That's 215-806-3689. The one injury that I was wondering about was the injury suffered by the guy next to us, who's clearly okay, left the game on Sunday with a shoulder injury, didn't return. Zach, we are hopeful that you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I just bumped my shoulder a little bit, and I'll be good.
That's
I'll be
good.
fine.
That's good. Now, there were a couple of lingering injuries, of course. Jordan Mailata.
On IR?
He's on IR now, so he's going to be out for a month. And then Dallas Goedert is still out with a hamstring, and we don't know.
Yeah, don't know about Dallas' hamstring injury. The Eagles have really done a nice job adjusting with Jack Stolen kind of doing the blocking and with Grant Calcaterra as the pass receiver and run and catch guy, and he's done an excellent job picking up where, Dallas left off. So it is a fairly good, as far as I know, health picture
I
going
think
into
so.
Sunday, which is going to be a tough game against a team that I think is on the rise, the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know, I have to say this, Zach. I think one of the biggest wastes of time comes in April when the schedule comes out, and then people get the schedule and they go W, W, L, W. They're putting in all these wins and losses. And then the season comes, and as you know, the NFL is often a war of attrition.
Yep.
Now, you take Tampa Bay. The Eagles played Tampa Bay 3 weeks ago. At that time, there was no Lane Johnson. There was no A.J. Brown. There was no Devontae Smith. If the Bucs game were this weekend, the Eagles would be at full strength, and the Bucs are now missing Godwin, and they're also missing Mike Evans. They're two best receivers. And Godwin, I think, is done for the season with a dislocated ankle.
Unfortunately.
So I think it's more important when you play a team than who you play.
Yeah, I think both matter. Obviously, the goal is to stay healthy. As us players, no one ever wants to get hurt, and I saw what happened to Chris Godwin. I hope he's doing well mentally. But, yeah, a lot of it is when you play.
And it's also an illustration of we all focus, Merrill, too, on who's going to make the 53-man roster, and that is very, very important. I agree. But then there's also the who's going to make the practice squad, and I don't think fans really take into account how often teams have to dip into the practice squad and how important those guys are and what good football players they are. They step in, they have their chance to make a play, to make their name, and to keep themselves in the league for a while. And then even beyond that, there's an emergency roster list. So it really – did you notice, Zach, a difference, 16 games to 17 games, like from a physical standpoint?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You really do.
I mean, I think that rule came into effect right when I got into the league.
Oh, so you never played 16 games?
So I never played 16 games, but I know that 17 games is a lot of freaking
Wait,
games.
It's been 5 years of 17 games already?
I think it was 2020,
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
What was it like for you, Zach, during the COVID, during the pandemic and being in New Orleans and practicing and living a quarantine life?
Yeah, that was the weirdest part of my career so far when I got drafted 2020.
Yeah.
Just doing the virtual draft and I didn't get mini camp.
I think Roger Goodell did it from his basement.
Yeah. I was at home. Yeah.
So were you able to have a party with people? Did you have your family over?
We had like 5 or 6 people, but the closest people, yeah.
And like, did you see your name on the scroll? How did you celebrate the idea that you were a third-round draft pick? I know the team calls you beforehand, before you see it on TV. But did you wait to see the? Well, it was announced, right?
Yep.
And then there was like a little talk up about you. Did you watch it and hear what they had to say about you?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
I watched it. That's everyone's dream is to see your name scroll across there and 74th pick of the NFL draft, this and that. So there was some champagne and cigars involved in that.
Did you have a feeling that you were going to hear from the Saints? Are they a team that showed interest in you prior to the draft?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I think I talked to them one time. Yeah.
Who else did you talk to?
I talked to the Eagles a lot. I remember that was one of my most memorable interviews. I talked to the Giants a lot. Yeah.
And there were no top 30 visits.
No top 30 visits.
Right, because the pandemic started in March, just before. So wait, was there a combine that year?
There was a combine, and then the pandemic hit actually like a week later, right after my pro day. So I was lucky that I got my pro day in.
Were you at the combine?
Yes, I was.
What was that like for you?
That was very intense. It's very intense. It's long nights. It's a lot of interviews. The combine is a lot of interview. It's probably 90% interview, 10% testing. Mm-hmm. And it's just very intense. And I think they try to test you mentally while you're there with little sleep and a lot to do. So
it's been called the Underwear Olympics.
Yeah.
Where guys are running 40s and they're looking at who's run the quickest 40 ever. In fact, you have a teammate who at one time ran the fastest 40 at the combine.
John Ross.
And that is John Ross.
John Ross, yep. That dude can fly.
And the thing is, also the players you've prepared so long, I would imagine the questions you heard were similar to what you had expected to hear.
Yeah, and your agents kind of tell you what to expect, and you practice interviews, and yeah, you're well prepared.
Zach, let's talk a little bit about what you saw on Sunday, how the defense is coming together. Your priorities on Sunday against the Giants. The offense took a little bit of time to get in gear. The defense came right out and dominated. Why do you think that happened? What went well for the defense on Sunday?
I think the communication between the defense was just pristine. Like the safeties talking to the linebackers talking to the D-line. It was all in sync, and it was all prepared. It was a lot of good preparation. I think we went into that week well prepared and ready to play.
Do you talk mostly with your linebacker coach, or how much do you deal actually with Vic Fangio?
We meet with Vic multiple times a day.
Do you?
I think he likes that, having all the guys in the room. It's part of the accountability, showing where guys mess up, or if you make one critique, making sure that everyone knows the correction, and you can just get it all right away.
I think he's one of the brightest guys, and he seems like an easy guy to be around.
Yeah. And he knows football.
And he knows golf. I played golf with Vic this summer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He shot one over on the back nine.
Oh.
That's how good he is.
Better than me.
Zach, as you get to know Merrill, you'll know that he loves the Eagles more than anything, but the conversation always goes back to golf.
Well, one thing I can do, and the other thing I try very hard to play. All right, we're going to be back, and we have, of course, our great guest, Zach Baun, right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, celebrating football season with special new menu items. The Kelsey Combo, created by number 62 himself, a handcrafted barbecue burger, world-famous crab fries, and an ice-cold garage beer. Our incredible jumbo soft pretzel, Chicky style, with a heaping skillet of our own in-house crab dip, and our delectable sweet heat wings, where a portion of the proceeds go to the A.J. Brown Foundation. Participating locations for a limited time. Chickies and Pete's.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO today. Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, prove it.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Dave had to leave a little early. He's doing an appearance at the stadium with Saquon Barkley. I hope this isn't the one where Saquon gets a running start and Dave has to try to tackle him.
For his sake, no.
Yeah, it is time now for this week's Penworth Financial Keys to the Game. The key to your financial future is Penworth Financial. Call them today at 267-997-4503 or visit penworth.com. All right, I will give you a key to this week's game against the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. One key, all right, to begin with. Zach Baun has to get up close and personal with Joe Burrow.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what you're trying to do?
That's what I'm trying to do.
What makes him a great quarterback?
I think it's his arm talent. Obviously, he's more athletic than you think. He can make every throw, and he's a smart football player. That's for sure.
I mean, he's not what you would call a running quarterback, but if there is an open field, he's quick enough to take advantage of it.
Oh, he's mobile. He's mobile for sure.
Okay, the other key to the game, and I'm going to throw it out there, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's that the offense has to be able to score a point in the first quarter. And the team has now gone through 6 straight games without the offense scoring 1 point. So I keep thinking it's bound to happen. I keep wondering maybe the Eagles should, if they win the toss, take the football, but they haven't. And then I'm happy when the second half begins and they're getting that kickoff. But once they got going this week against the Giants, you couldn't stop them.
Yeah, I mean, it was phenomenal to watch. Saquon, the offensive line, Jalen was stepping in there. AJ, of course. It was a true team effort for sure.
This team has a lot of talent. It really does have a lot of talent. Earlier in the season, when things went a bit awry, when this team had lost to Atlanta and had that bad game in Tampa Bay, did your confidence waver at all?
No. It was easy to see the things that we need to correct, and it was easy to make those corrections. And now it's just about consistency and playing the right way every week.
That's one of the things that Nick said, that over the bye they were going to take a look carefully and study the things that needed work. And one of the things he said was tackling.
Yep.
How do you work on tackling? Because when you go into a preseason and into training camp, there is very, very little tackling to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost no tackling to the ground
None.
besides those preseason games. So,
and you played a little in the preseason, right?
Yep. And I like to, because you don't get those real live action hits like you do in a game during training camp otherwise.
Now, at Wisconsin, or in most colleges, is there tackling during the summer?
Yes. They'll go live periods. In colleges, it's more gritty, more hardworking.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're not paying the guys. Well, back in my day, they weren't paying the guys millions of dollars, and it's all about staying healthy. So how do you balance staying healthy and still getting that physicality in?
Yeah, they talk about the old Eagles. They had a great coach by the name of Dick Vermeil when I first started a million years ago. And Dick Vermeil would have two-a-days. And two-a-days were always live. There was always hitting. But the thing that I remember then was that they brought about 120 guys to camp. Now there are 90 guys to camp for 53 roster spots.
Yep.
And it's a lot different. You have to be very aware of the injury situation.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a really hard training camp and you could practice really hard throughout the season, but then you got to also look at the injury rate. Like, where do you find that balance?
When you went to training camp this year, Zach Baun, were you worried at all about making the team? Did you come in saying, I'm here, I'm a coveted free agent, I'm in good shape? Or did you feel every day that your job was on the line?
I still feel every day my job is on the line. I mean,
well,
this is the National Football League.
It's not on the line today or anytime soon.
This is the National Football League. Everyone's good. Everyone's fast. Everyone's strong. Everyone's big. Everyone's smart. And you constantly have to prove it to yourself and to your team that you're worth.
You know what's amazing? If you go back and think of all the kids throughout the nation that play high school football. And a very few percentage of those kids go on to play major college football. And then you think of all the football players across the country and all the Big Ten schools, all the Southeast Conference schools, and they flood into the NFL. And the small percentage of people who ever actually put on a uniform and play in an NFL game. I mean, you really are the chosen ones.
Every day I walk into the NovaCare Center, I feel absolutely blessed. And I feel like I'm not supposed to be here, but I know that in my head that I worked hard enough and I did all the things that I needed to do to earn my spot here.
Can I tell you a secret? Every time when I stand for the national anthem before a game, I say two things. There's no place in the world I'd rather be, and there's nothing in the world I'd rather be doing.
Absolutely.
That's how it has been part of this. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's take a look at some of the games this week, and just no points, just a win or a loss. Dave has already given his. Chicago against Washington, at Washington.
At Washington, good Chicago team, good Washington team. I think I'll take Chicago there.
Will you?
I think I'll take Chicago.
I hope you're right. Okay, I'm going to take Washington, but although maybe I should take Chicago because I think Jaden Daniels is going to be out.
I've heard that as well.
Had you seen him before?
I have not.
He has taken the league by storm.
Oh, I've seen him play. I've seen him play. He can play.
Okay, Dallas at San Francisco. Cowboys are coming off a bye.
San Fran.
Yep. They're banged up too. They lost Ayuk.
Yep.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I did see that.
I'm going to pick Dallas, who is coming off one of the worst games they ever played when they were shellacked 49-3 or whatever they scored in that awful game.
Yep.
All right. I'm picking Dallas. I'm rooting for San Francisco, obviously. How about the Giants at the Steelers?
The Steelers.
I think you're right.
Yep.
3 for the Steelers. How about the Bills at Seattle? Two teams that are hot one week and cold the next.
Yeah, but Seattle's playing well right now. I'll take Seattle.
Take Seattle. I'm going to take the Bills. All right.
We are not agreeing on this.
No, not much. The Saints and the Chargers.
The Chargers.
L.A. Saints. When the Eagles went to play the Saints had won 2 games. They scored over 40 points a game, and I think you guys ruined them.
I'm glad we did. I'm glad we did.
They haven't won a game since. All right, so I'm going to take the Chargers also. Falcons and the Bucks.
Ooh, that could be a good game. No Chris Godwin.
Not only that, no Mike Evans.
No Mike Evans. I'll take Atlanta.
You're going to take Atlanta? I think that Baker Mayfield is going to bounce back, and I'm taking the Bucks. Packers at the Jaguars finally won last week in London, but it seems pretty obvious that this is going to be a Green Bay game.
Yeah, I'm putting Green Bay.
From Wisconsin, did you grow up a Packer fan?
I never really watched football, surprisingly
You never
enough.
watched football?
No.
What did you watch?
I was just outside playing it, or I was playing soccer, or I was doing something else, yeah.
You never watched football?
I watched, like, the Steelers Super Bowl, whatever.
Yeah, but that's it. How about the better to participate than watch?
Yeah.
Okay, and finally we have the Vikings at the Rams.
The Vikings.
Okay, you're picking the
They're
Vikings.
hot right now.
Okay, I think the Vikings lost to the Lions. I'm going to pick the Rams. I think the Vikings are going down for the second time in a row.
Okay.
But it's amazing when you look at these quarterbacks like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a guy who went to 4 different – they're the 4th team that he's played for.
Yep.
First-round draft pick of the Jets, and now he is winning with Minnesota. Another one, Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
How much do you think the Browns wish that they had Baker Mayfield back? He's playing great football.
Yeah, it's hard to say because this NFL stuff is all about scheme and all about fit. And I know that with me personally, and I know that with Baker, the scheme fits, and maybe it's the same with Sam.
Zach, you are off to a great start. You're not only a great football player, you're a great guy, and I'm glad the fans here at Chickies and Pete's had a chance to meet you tonight and take some pictures. They're great fans. They love the Eagles, and they certainly love you. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
for
having me.
Thank all of you for listening. Next week will be at Chickies and Pete's in the Northeast, and our guest is going to be another great guy, Grant Calcaterra.
Oh, yeah.
So for Zach and for me and for Dave and for our engineer, Chris Ermer, and for our executive producer, George Forster, PGA, this is Merrill Reese. Good night, everyone.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL.